sometime shortly before dark, 72 lumberjacks are going to come in through that door. They're going to sit down here on the bench. They're going to peel off their wet socks after working in the snow all day, and there's going to be 72 pairs of steaming hot socks hanging above the stove there.
There's a time machine in the Northwoods of Minnesota that I found called the Forest History Center that officially is called a museum, but when you get to it, you end up in an old logging camp. Later, you go to another historical period at the top of a fire tower, and then find out present-day ecology from a boat. Officially, this is a museum, but in practicality, this is a fully immersive experience that I can't wait to share with you. We right now under our 2-horsepower vehicle. What's our destination right now?
Our next destination is our reconstructed 1900 logging camp. Nearly 80 men it would take and 24 horses to run this camp.
It's almost like I'm being transformed in a time machine.
Transported, yes. It's something that people don't have a lot of contact with anymore, so it's an interesting way to connect people with Minnesota history. There was about 300 of these camps in Minnesota in 1900.
Because the general public will think of a museum as being a place with a lot of plaques and reading, and I think this is my favorite part. Is like there's an element of flair that is required to really make it a memorable experience.
1900 was the boom year of white pine logging, in which more white pines were cut than ever before. We see here on the right side of the trolley the barn, which is built to accommodate 24 horses. Over on the left is the blacksmith shop, where horses get their shoes put on, and also where repairs are done. We're coming up on a number of sleighs which are integral to hauling logs on ice roads. The filer shack is here on the left. Saws are sharpened regularly there. The office, where the business of logging takes place, and the bunkhouse straight ahead, which will accommodate 72 men. You can just imagine 2 men to a bunk, and they're going to be here all winter long. These men come here to work in the woods, and nobody's going home after a hard day's work. They stay right here, working sun up till sundown, 6 days out of the week. But Sundays they get the day off. So Saturday night in the bunkhouse, there might be a game of cards. There might be a little bit of music in the bunkhouse. It might sound something like this. There's rules in the bunkhouse.
Okay.
Yes, so there's no fighting in logging camp. There's no gambling for money, so you might bet your pocket watch on that Saturday night game, but no money. There's no drinking in camp, and there are no ladies allowed in the bunkhouse.
You think those rules are followed?
Oh yeah, so you'll get fired and sent down the road. This
Really?
poses the problem of who to dance with on a Saturday night. Those lumberjacks are going to get an apron and put it on the newest, the youngest, the greenest greenhorn, and he's going to dance with everyone on a Saturday night.
I cannot describe, I mean, not to you, but to anyone watching this, like how atmospheric this is. Oh, man. As Minnesota's history progressed, well, populations started moving north, and as they did, it became so much more important to monitor fires in the Northwoods. Of course, the feature of the Forest History Center is this, the 100-foot fire tower that used to be used to scout out fires from across the northern part of Minnesota. So where are you taking me right now?
We're going to a fire tower that came from the town of Bena, which is about 30 miles down the road. It was once a functioning fire tower for the Civilian Conservation Corps.
Okay. And it was moved here specifically for the Forest History Center?
MNHS acquired it in the 1970s to be a feature at the Forest History Center. Yep.
Okay. How many times have you climbed these steps?
Countless. So this is a platform. There's 9 or 10 flights up. Platforms are great little spots to stop right in the canopy of the trees. We're probably on the 4th or 5th platform up. We can see some canopy. We can see some of the views of the local, the area here. We have paper mills, we have mines, we have water towers.
This was acquired for, educational purposes in the 70s, but before that, what was this used for?
It was a lookout fire tower, so a man would climb the steps, most likely from the Civilian Conservation Corps.
Let's go see what they would be looking from at the top now.
Sounds good.
So we're up here now, Pete, and this place looks so much more Spartan than I was expecting it to. I was thinking we'd have like a 1970s spring bed over here and a teapot over here. It's just a map with a kind of compass on it and a chair.
And a little cabinet for some binoculars so you can not just enjoy the view, but be looking for smoke if you were up in one of these in the 1930s.
Yeah. So people were working the day shift up here and then they'd go back down to sleep down below?
Yep, they would often be paired with what we call a patrolman's cabin, which we have down below. That has your spring bed, usually bunks. This would sometimes be staffed by 1 to 2, 3 people at the time.
Yep. The topography of Minnesota makes it so that the built structure actually has to be way higher to reach above the pines.
Right, you wanted to be able to see as far and as long as you could to notice any smoke.
And what are we looking at here? What is this?
This is an Adelaide, so it's kind of a little bit of a glorified compass. So if you were to be up here and see a smoke, you can see it's got 360 degrees, and you're going to kind of pinpoint it with the Adelaide there. If we see a smoke this way, we might not have any clue about how far it is.
Oh, sure.
But if somebody sees a smoke from 90 degrees from the other direction, then we can pinpoint it. And if we can see it from 3 directions, then we can really pinpoint where the fire is and get men there to put it out as quick as possible.
This is literally that thing in high school when we're all like, when are we ever going to use trigonometry in real life? This is it. This is when we use trigonometry.
Yep.
All of this is in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, so named for a rapids that doesn't exist anymore. And so the Forest History Center gives you a boat ride to be able to find out why. This is new for 2025 here at the Forest History Center. They have an add-on that you can come out on a pontoon experience and get a tour of the place that gave Grand Rapids its name. It's a bit of a misnomer nowadays because this is a serene, flat bit of water because of that dam over there and then another dam 3 miles from here, initially put up to control the flow of water over in the mill city of Minneapolis, 3 hours south of here. It now is an incredible wildlife reserve where there are bald eagles in nests that we've seen today, loons on the water, and a whole lot more.
The river was very narrow and very rugged. So the Pokegama Dam was built in 1882 initially, and it was built as part of a 3-dam project. The other 2 dams went in at Leech Lake and Lake Winnibigoshish. Those 3 dams were installed for flood control in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area.
We're 3 hours north of the mill city over there, and yet they're building structures here to affect the land all the way down there.
There's about a 3.5 mile stretch between the 2 dams that we have here, and that section was called the Grand Rapids. So it was one continuous long rapid from one dam to the other. The river is home to a lot of resources for a lot of people, and the Native Americans were living here and they had reservations, they had campments in here. And when they wanted to put those dams in, they knew their camps were going to get flooded out.
It is such a commonality I've seen as I've gone to all of the Minnesota Historical Society sites, is the consistency of like our changing wants and needs when it comes to the land that we use, right? Like going from fur trading over to agrarian and having these logging and needing to control the water or wanting to control the water, but there's a lot of collateral damage that happens in our history as well with that.
There was also a ton of wild rice here, and a lot of these backwaters were filled with wild rice. That was their food supply, a major part of their food supply. In addition to the Native Americans, there were other people that were not in favor of dams. They wanted to leave things natural, and you know, I mean, how things go in life, and that's history is.
So when I think of Minnesota Historical Society, I think of museums and controlled environments and air conditioning. That is not how it works at the Forest History Center. This is an experiential place to come to, and what that means is that you're on a golf cart going from the ticket center down to the lake, up to the fire tower, over to the draft horses. This is one of those amazing places that you can experience the Northwoods of Minnesota.